Oh, hello. Isn't it the perfect night to watch a movie? A movie I've been meaning to watch for a long time now, literally 2 years, is Hundreds of Beavers. It's on streaming now, so we can just go and watch it. Here we go. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Wait, what was that recommended below it? The Rare Blue Apes of Cannibal Isle. Oh no. The Rare Blue Apes of Cannibal Isle is a 1975 family musical adventure film. I could not believe I'd never heard of this film before, and then I found out why. It was missing. For the last 50 years, this movie was lost. The film was only recently found, restored, and released about a year ago by the Film Preservation Restoration Company, Vinegar Syndrome. And with costumes like that, how could we not watch it right now? Wow, I love these old film filters. The movie opens with our star. This is Mr. Quack Quack. No one likes him, except our actual main character, Nani. This is Nani, a mute human boy who's facing the turmoil of his parents getting rid of his favorite pet duck. And Nani feels... Oh, that's okay, little boy. It's okay. You don't need to sing about it. I'll summarize. It's alright. Nani is worried Mr. Quack Quack is going to be eaten if they give him away, so he takes his sister's advice and runs away. Sails away. Excuse me. Where he docks on a pretty cool-looking island. If you can't tell from the weird ADR...
Mother! Nani's gone! And so is Mr. Quack Quack!
This film was shot entirely overseas in Malaysia. That's not a Rare Blue Ape of Cannibal Isle. Boo! Oh, there's one.
What strange-looking creatures.
I'm so glad this mute character has such necessary voiceover dialogue. Teehee, seeing the torment of sentient creatures is so silly.
That's a human being.
Feel like tasting a blue ape stew, could night.
You may have picked up that the title is a little misleading. See, there are no cannibals in this film. I know, so sad, so unfortunate. The title's trying to refer to the crocodiles called swampies. So the swampies eat sentient beings, but they don't eat other crocodiles, so technically they're not cannibals. On the bright side, they're pirates. Nani is captured by the swampies and put with... I can't look away. Do I like it? Or does it disturb me? This is Hacha, a Rare Blue Ape of Cannibal Isle. He loves one-sided conversations.
My name is Hacha. I'm a rare blue ape.
Thanks, but Nani didn't ask.
But you're asking yourself why I'm so blue.
No,
All we have to do is try and think what Oompa would do in a situation like this.
You don't have to tell...
I suppose you're wondering to whom I refer when I mention Oompa.
Stop.
I'll have to go back quite a few years.
What? No, wait. No.
Many years ago, he was sold to a Chinese pirate. On Sunday afternoons, he went for rides in Lord Pennington's Stanley, much less a blue one. This island was inhabited. Refused to have it, but in the Grand Victorian manner.
Stop the exposition dump. I can do it much faster. And to the point. Hacha has a grandfather named Oompa who is supposed to be a genius inventor raised in England. There. Moving on to the current peril at hand. The swampies are holding Hacha hostage in order to learn where a mine is. Hacha does not know, so they're going to eat him.
This sure is a terrible place.
Yes! Another necessary and astute line of voiceover dialogue from our mute character. Thank you, Nani. I didn't know that.
Terrible.
It is rather strange to make your mute main character still sing and technically talk in your musical movie. His character would work fine with simple miming, but instead they force all of this voiceover dialogue onto him, and it's unnecessary. As I said before, it's just not needed. Nani's muteness has been mentioned multiple times in the film, and is very important to his character because...
Did I say something?
Never mind. What was the point? It's a pet peeve of mine to take what technically would be a disability and just not. What? So the mute child can talk now, but only the blue ape Hacha can hear him. At first I thought this was the swampies being rude because they are the bad guys. They're allowed to be rude to Nani. But later on we meet a human character who also cannot hear Nani talk. You may think, that doesn't make any sense. And you'd be wrong. You see, this is a good example of Dream logic. Dream logic. Dream logic in media, unfortunately, can be used as an excuse for bad writing, plot holes, inconsistent characters, or motivations. While technically I would say it's up to the viewer whether or not dream logic is purposeful or not. In this movie, it's very direct. Hatcha explains blue apes are capable of great things, and one of these powers is being able to hear Nani speak.
We rare blues are capable of many things those behind us on a lower level are not. I can hear you perfectly. But I'm afraid these creatures will never ever hear you.
I interpreted this as Nani can only speak to those who listen, which can be a truth in our own world, a reflection of how the thoughts, words, and feelings of children can be easily dismissed or ignored. By the end of the film, Nani states his determination to start speaking for himself, mainly to his parents who pitied him.
That ugly thing, that pig idol, what is it?
That's the idol of Muck, one of the twin gods of Shmug.
Lore. Okay, so the Swampies are a pirate cult who worship two gods, Mira and Muck. And we get to meet the Swampies' leader, Captain Croc.
I'm Captain Croc, king of the beasties, a ruler of muck and mire. Strong as a lion, bold as an eagle.
I'm so glad this is a musical. Oh no, our main characters are going to be eaten by not cannibals. But wait, don't tell me you forgot about the best character. Mr. Quack Quack saves the day by untying the ropes the main characters could have reached the entire time.
They're gone! Disappeared!
If only our plastic eyes could have seen them escape. I mean, they were right there. Nani, Mr. Quack Quack, and Hatcha are pursued down the river, and... where did he get that parasol from?
The Phantom Falls. We may be in luck. We'll have to sacrifice the boat. Make them think we're in it when it goes over.
Where's Mr. Quack Quack going? Mr. Quack Quack! Come back here!
He's giving up his life to save you.
What? Mr. Quack Quack doesn't need to do that. Wait, where's Mr. Quack Quack going? Mr. Quack Quack, get back here! Mr. Quack Quack! Mr. Quack Quack died? But he's the whole point of the movie.
I sure miss Mr. Quack Quack.
Sure you do, old chap. But remember, Nani, you've got someone to talk to now. Me.
Hatcha!
You and me, we're gonna make a swell team, Hatcha.
Right you are.
Well, Nani moved on from that pretty fast.
Together, there's nothing we can't do. You, me, and the Papa.
Why am I more upset about the death of Mr. Quack Quack than the main characters? This upbeat song does not belong here. Stop singing!
Hey, look, it's Mr. Quack Quack. He's still alive.
Oh, thank goodness. This is a children's film from the 70s, alright? I really did believe that they killed the duck. Look how offended this duck is, trying to run away because he was instantly replaced. Captain Croc and his pirate crew decide to sail directly to the Blue Apes' home base. Meanwhile, Nani, Mr. Quack Quack, and Hatcha are pursued by these two goons. This is Achu, and that's Bobo. They are the banana and orange, the 1 and 0. You know exactly what these characters sound like. I don't need to show you any clips. You know these characters. They are the goons. I want to briefly touch on the puppetry and costumes because they are incredibly impressive and the main reason why I'm watching the film. Look at them! The actors aren't afraid to get dirty or stunt about in their limited vision. The heads of the apes have 3 simple facial movements. This would be blinking, the eyes moving, and the mouths moving. This cannot be said for all characters, since the Swampies have no mouth movement at all. It reminds me of, you ever watch those Dr. Seuss animations, but like it was just pictures from the book being puppeted and no character's mouth moved. It's like the cheapest form of animation. And I hated these when I was a kid because it takes you out of the media. It's like watching Babes in Toyland and seeing background characters that are just like the costume head and there's no actual movement or life going on in the face. The easiest way to bring a character to life would be eye movement and mouth movement. Those are the two ways to do it. If you're doing an animation, all you got to do is make the eyes move and the mouth move, and you're good. Otherwise, it comes off as just not right. The Blue Ape's mouth movements don't always align, but they do well enough. On the other hand, they didn't even try with the Swampies. Their mouths are completely stationary. If anything, if this was like a money issue, they could have put jaw movement in Captain Croc, Achu, and Bobo, because they are the main 3 crocodiles that talk. Because they do talk quite a lot, and this small change would have engaged me with them as characters. That's not to say that these costume puppets aren't amazing. Just look at the painting on the crocodile's tails. I'd hang that up on my wall. It makes me wonder what parts of these costumes could be found today. Who in this world has a crocodile head tucked in their house somewhere and they have no idea where it's from? I'd like to believe remnants from this movie exist, but yeah, I don't know. Hacha and Nani are still traveling to reach Hacha's home. A skeleton! Yes.
I'm so thirsty now. I'd settle for swamp tonic.
I think that fellow there would have too.
Hey, look! It's a pump of some kind, old and rusty. I wonder if it still works.
It's actually working.
If that skeleton died from exposure, what stopped them from walking 10 feet to a working water source? How big is this desert? How big is this island? Our main characters make it to the forest edge to sleep, Achu and Bobo right behind them. What's happening? Why are we zooming in on Bobo? Is that music? Oh no. Building? On Bobo?
Ain't a bloke alive who don't have a...
Bobo gets a song? I don't even get a song.
Oh, well, blasted stick of flowers.
You know, amazingly, I'm getting a little bored. They're just traveling. I think, I just wish something new would happen.
Nani!
That will do. That's right. We've entered the mines. I hope you're ready for an in-depth explanation on the mine subplot, because, oh boy! In the beginning of the film, Captain Croc's people were interrogating Hacha on where the entrance of this mine is, because apparently the Myra idol used to spew toxic mine gas whenever the nose was turned, like a weapon. But then one day it just stopped. So the Swampies want to find the mine entrance in order to get the poison that does not affect Swampies, but it kills everything else on the island. Our main characters come across the mine entrance near Myra's idol. So, how did the Swampies not know where this is? It's not hidden, it's not a cave, it is an actual mine with these huge structures around it. Not to mention, the mine is named the Mine of Muck and Myra. Who else but the Swampies would have named it that? Does that not imply that the Swampies were the ones to name it and once knew where it was located? How did they lose the entrance of a mine? On an island. We learn that in the pirate Swampy cult. What is my life? Achu is the keeper of the key of the idol of Myra. How did he not know the mine was here? The only explanation we get is that the flowers the Swampies are allergic to keep their scouts away, but the flowers are not hiding the mine entrance. The flowers don't stop the Swampies from entering the mine anyway, so, what do the flowers actually do? Why does this sound so complicated? I swear it really isn't. I just, they come across the mine and I'm like, it's a mine. I thought it would be like a hidden cave entrance. Why am I telling you this? Because I know it. And now you know it too.
That there's a mine. In fact, if me old eyes ain't playing tricks, Bobo, that's what Captain Croc's been looking for.
Achu? How did you not know where the mine was? They all go inside the mine.
Crack!
on the cracked skull! Begone!
What's the idea of trying to scare the daylights out of us?
Wait, he can't hear you, Nonny.
The old man has been guarding his gems. It's his mine, apparently. He found it with some friends. And he's also been guarding the schmuck that the Swampies used to use to hurt people. So this guy's the reason that the Myra idol no longer spews toxic gas.
I figured, even if them critters discovered the mine, they'd never come down here if there was flowers growing.
Yeah, those flowers really stopped them from entering the mine. Achu and Bobo come across it, and they insist on tasting the schmuck to make sure it's real. The old man's like, haha, watch me trick them, and he just kind of lets them do it, and they'll never stop eating it. Ever. Dream logic. This allows our protagonists to escape their pursuers. Achu and Bobo never come back and are never mentioned again. The mine is never mentioned again. The toxic gas is never mentioned again. The jewels are never mentioned again.
Something else. Something more terrifying than anybody else can think of. It could destroy you, him, me, and all the world in time.
Wait, what was that? What's back there? Hey, what's that old man guarding? I know I'm making fun of it, but I actually kind of love that. The old guy's just like, there's some crazy shit going on. You're never gonna find out what. We finally reach the infamous Oompa that Hacho cannot shut up about and the rest of his family. They spend their days making weapons to wipe the Swampies off the face of the earth. Huh. I think Hacha may have been lying about the intelligence of his grandfather. The Swampies finally attack. You know the ending of Swiss Family Robinson? It's literally that. Captain Croc pulls out a super bomb and just doesn't throw it. Kind of holds it for a really long time. I wonder what will happen. The Rare Blue Apes throw a dinner party and Nani gives a ridiculously put together speech.
Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking.
Of course, they must follow up by singing their family anthem.
We're the Rare Blue Apes of Cannibal Isle, wiser than humans.
And yes, it has been stuck in my head for weeks. Thank you. Nani and Mr. Quack Quack go home. The end. God save the... Is this an environmental movie? Since when? Did I miss that subtext? So what was that? The Rare Blue Apes of Cannibal Isle goes by many different titles, being Mr. Quack Quack and the Rare Blue Ape, or Pirates of Cannibal Isle, or Captain Croc and the Rare Blue Apes. These other titles have different opening credits, and often earlier release dates such as 1973 and 1974. The film was directed by American and veteran sexploitation creator Don Greer. Can you believe that I wasn't surprised in the least to find out that this film was made by exploitation creators? There's our Donny boy there in an X-rated film. The Rare Blue Apes of Cannibal Isle appears to be the last film he ever made. And frankly, I just wish there was more information about it. How does a man who makes exploitation films end up making a family musical as his last film? There's a story there, I just don't know what it is. Hold on, we gotta figure this out. Okay, it's very crude. Please do not judge my map. I did this very quickly. Oh no, you can't even see it. I'm gonna have to hold it. Here we go. Can you tell what this is a map of? Listen to this. The film was made by Don Greer, but then it was filmed in Malaysia. And then we're not even talking about this place yet. I would have circled the entire country of Australia, but it doesn't fit on my quickly drawn map. So the film was created by an American involved primarily in the American film industry, but filmed and starring actors in Malaysia. And then we have the expert in puppetry, co-writer Peter Scriven, who is based in Australia. Peter Scriven's only other video media was an Australian series called The Adventures of Sebastian the Fox in 1963, which only ran for 13 episodes. And that's it! It should be noted that neither Sebastian the Fox nor the Blue Apes of Cannibal Isle appear in Peter Scriven's very in-depth biographies. The closest thing I ever got was an article saying, after a spell in Singapore and Malaysia. This is a spell?! So these projects must have been small potatoes in his life and puppetry work, which is a crazy thing to say about a full feature movie and a television show. Well, what about the rest of the people who worked on the film, huh? What about them? The composer, Phil Moore, this is the only thing he did. The set designer, Jim West, this is the only film he did. 2 of the 3 producers, this is the only film they did. And that 3rd producer, he did 2 movies. The cinematographer, Arch, this is the last film he did. The PA, Terry Bond, this is the last film she did. The editor, George Hively, he actually went on to have a very long and successful career until his death. What is happening? What is this movie? How did these people come together and make it? Why? Why did they make it? Why can't I find out? Don Greer doesn't have his early life laid out very well, but I'm a snoop, and this is what I got. Don Greer was born September 9th, 1924. His twin sister was Jane Greer, who was a very successful actress. I literally just watched her Murder, She Wrote episode. She was incredibly successful, but her twin is never mentioned in her skin-deep biographies, likely because of the different genres they were involved in. Before moving into the film industry, Don was in the US Navy in World War II, and I don't know what happened to him between 1945 and 1951. I have no idea. It's in 1951 he's uncredited in his first film. Maybe his sister being involved in the film industry made him want to go into it as well. He acted mainly in exploitation films until he moved to directing in 1969. And his last directing credit, as I mentioned, was Rare Blue Apes of Cannibal Isle in 1975. But he actually filmed it in Johor, Malaysia in 1971. I found an article in the Singapore Straits Times, November 17th, 1971, where Don Greer, who was a quarter in the filming, said he was satisfied with the progress of Rare Blue Apes of Cannibal Island. He fully intended to shoot a series of films in Malaysia, citing the weather as the only downside. Most of the article is about his planned second film, a film we know was never made. Don Greer already had the script written by playwright Lee Ju-for, and I'm pretty sure this is Lee Ju-for's daughter in the movie. The second film was going to be a romance, and Greer was looking for a local girl to play the lead, alongside a well-known Hollywood actor, Doubt. So why did these series of films never happen? Well, the best guess would be Rare Blue Apes of Cannibal Island completely bombed. Oh, it must have bombed hard, preventing any of Don Greer's future plans. And then? I have no idea. Don Greer just vanished off the face of the planet, except he didn't because he's still alive. He's still here! I mean, it's a pretty good assumption that his family will not let me interrogate him, and he probably doesn't even remember making this movie. It's over 100 years old. What was that? What was that? What did we just watch? You, me, and Papa. You have any idea how many times I've seen this movie?